Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited to be here.
Me too. Me
Thanks
too.
for having me.
Yeah. I actually last year when I came and got the signing done, I met you at Fierce Friday, and I brought like the Tempest version that was like the India version. I don't know if you remember it. The small paperback, and it was like the only paperback that you had seen. And so I wanted to interview back then, but I was too nervous.
Aww.
So I'm glad that
we
this
could make it happen now.
Yeah, I'm glad we could make this happen. But first of all, I wanted to know about your writing journey and how it started. Like, how did you get into writing? How did you what your process was like, basically.
So I guess we're starting way at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I started. I was homeschooling, so I was very lonely, and my dad was like, you read some books. Took me to the library, and then I brought home a book, or brought home a couple books, but then I couldn't keep asking him to take me back because I just started devouring books. I had not been a big reader as a kid. I wasn't a fan of books. I would cheat on my reading log. That was just how little I liked books.
Yeah.
But when I picked up my first YA, which was Graceling, I enjoyed that so much that I just kept picking up more and more. And it got to the point where, since I couldn't keep asking him to take me, I was trying to look for other ways to get books. And I obviously had no money at the time, so I was just, how could I get books and, continue this love that I had suddenly.
Yeah.
And I found that my library had a blog where you could review a book for them and they'll give you a free book every month. So I started doing that, and then, one book a month is just not enough. And then I eventually realized that I could have my own blog and review books, and publishers would send me books. So that's basically what got me into the world of publishing. I was I don't know, maybe 17 and a half. And at that point I had read so many books that one night I just had this very crazy dream. And when I woke up, I was like, all of these authors are writing, I can try that too, it's not hard. And that was a big lie. But I wrote my first book that same year, and I tried querying it. And it obviously went nowhere, thankfully, but I kept writing from that point on, and then We Hunt the Flame was my fifth manuscript that I attempted to get published, and it worked out, and here I am.
That's amazing. That's amazing. For me,
what was your crazy dream?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
No
one's asked that. I've told this story before, but no one's ever asked that. There were I think 3 sisters, which I guess I've got 2 sisters, so that might be why. And there were just these weird shape-shifting beings that, it's a little We Hunt the Flame-esque, but not really, not new at all. But yeah, shape-shifting beings, and then, I don't know, I just remember there being the only way to control those beings was through one person, and they wanted to get rid of the person, so they were like, let's take some of their skin and we can make a cup out of it, and let's not go there.
Look at his, have you heard this? He's like, who did I marry?
The more you know.
The more you know. Maybe
you write that book.
Yeah, maybe we'll see it in the shelves one day. Like a horror. Yeah, horror debut.
Skin cuffs.
Skin cuffs. Got a title already.
Yeah.
There we go.
In the works. Query.
Yeah. That's so interesting though, because for me also it's been like a similar process, because I'm a writer. I'm working towards my debut, hopefully soon. But for me also, I did not like reading as a young kid, and then my situation was that I went to boarding school, and so no phones, no electronics. There was nothing to take up time, and so then I got into books, and then the crazy dreams, and then started writing them.
That's
so
cool. Yeah. Well,
I
early on, I felt almost ashamed to say that I did not enjoy reading, because most authors are I've been writing since I can hold a pen.
It came to me when I was 5 years old.
So it just felt like I'm almost, imposter syndrome is everywhere, but it just felt more like that, where I probably can't be a good author if I haven't been writing all my life. But since then I've realized that a lot of kids who want to be writers one day are like, if I didn't start young, can I start now?
Yeah.
So I've been more apt to tell them.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're the same way though. Yeah.
I do wanted to ask you if you have like any writing advice or like any advice for new writers, or like your take on it.
Yeah, I think, something that I would tell people before, but now it applies to me as well, in a higher capacity than it did before, but is just to get to the end of your manuscript.
Yep.
And because it's so easy to write a chapter and then go back and edit nonstop, and then you're just not having that forward momentum.
Yeah.
And you're thinking ahead and like, how am I going to get published? How am I going to get an agent? All of that, but you haven't finished your book. And when you do finish your book, like set it aside for at least a short amount of time so it's not fresh in your mind. And then go back and look at it with fresh eyes and, make edits to it. And don't let it get to the point where you've just edited so much that you don't know if you're getting better or if it's just... Because agents are looking for good quality or like they're looking for something that has potential. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that when you read a book from a bookstore, it's been edited heavily since it was acquired from a querying writer.
Yeah, and that ends up creating more imposter syndrome, I think, for the new authors. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. I feel like the momentum thing that you said, like just having to keep working at it and keep that, increasing momentum.
Yeah. But it is refreshing that you said you felt almost like an imposter when you first came in.
Yeah.
And really refreshing for other writers too to realize like, okay, she writes incredible stories and you still like grapple with that. So
I still do now. So and I think if you speak to a lot of authors, they still feel the same way. Yeah.
So how was it like finding your voice in your writing? Because you said it took you like 5 manuscripts to then bring something out, and then now you're writing like the honey book you've mentioned.
Blade of Honey.
And you have like the Tempest and Steeped in Blood is coming out. So what was it like finding your voice, your author voice?
Yeah, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, every book is going to be different. Every book requires a different voice because the characters are different. But I think if you kind of distill my books, I always have the same kind of protagonist where she's like headstrong, feisty, wants to get things done, is kind of afraid to relinquish control in any way. And I think when you realize that, it's almost like am I just writing the same thing over and over again? Is that not creative anymore? And I think it's just having those conversations and then getting to the point where like, that is my author voice. That's just this kind of story that I write. So I don't know. I think it's kind of an ongoing process because every book that you write is almost like a time capsule to who you were at the time too.
I love that.
It's like I wrote this during this time in my life, and now I'm writing from the heart of someone who's changed since then.
I love that. That's so interesting to think about, because then do you go back to reading like your previous stuff and then you see like you remember where you were when you read those parts?
I did not read anything for the longest time, but I recently did an annotated version of We Hunt the Flame. And that was my first time rereading those books in like 6 years. So that was fun to see, like, read certain scenes and remember that, I was in this headspace at that time, just like recollecting those moments and stuff.
So like it triggered memories instead of you being like, wow, I'm so good. You're like, whoa.
It did trigger memories, but I was also very nervous to read because I thought I would read lines and want to edit. I was worried about that, but I didn't feel that way. So it was nice to be like, okay, this is actually a pretty good book. It doesn't.
That's so reaffirming also for your imposter syndrome. That's lovely. And I feel like what you said about like your author voice being like that specific type of character, I feel like that is your author voice, but it's also like from like a reader's perspective, like it makes at least me feel represented and feel seen with that kind, especially like being like a diverse author and like having characters who are like you like in books is just so much more important as a POC, that seeing that in your books has just like, even if it is the same character, which I don't think it is, but it's like it's still the same in the sense that it still gives the readers the same feeling, but they have their own thing. And so one thing I wanted to ask you is, what would you say to the readers that felt seen or like felt represented in the books that you've written, like through the characters?
So to us.
Yeah, to us. To us.
Well, I mean, I think when I first started writing, there was very few diverse books at the time. We need diverse books. The movement had just started, close to or around the time that We Had the Flame was being published. But when I was writing the book at first, there were very few fantasies that weren't Eurocentric. So I was kind of nervous about writing that. I mean, I knew there were audiences there. I mean, I was looking for a book like that, right? For the longest time, but I just didn't know if publishers would be interested. And I think my publisher themselves weren't fully sure if readers would be interested. But as I kept promoting it online and kept reaching these readers who wanted stuff like that, it kind of, I don't know, reaffirmed what I wanted as well. So it's been nice to see that it's reaching and people are being able to relate to these characters.
I love talking to like BIPOC authors about unlikable characters or like flawed characters. I don't believe really in an unlikable character, especially when it's like a female character that just knows what she wants and she's suddenly unlikable, right? But I love speaking with authors that specifically write characters that are flawed and they're BIPOC and just the empowerment in that. So when you approach it, like, did it ever cross your mind at some point, like, maybe I should make the main character more status quo, more likable, more whatever, or were you just like, this is who they are, like, accept it?
Yeah, I don't think I ever had that thought cross my mind. It's odd because my side characters usually, and even my love interests, they usually require a little bit more work where I'm like consciously thinking about how will this character relate to another one and all of that. But with my main characters like Zafira and Arthi, they come fully formed for me, and everything else revolves around them. The world, the side characters, the romance, all of that is how does it benefit them and how does it help them grow. So I never really think too much about, is Arthi too mean or just too unlikable or any of that. It's just that's who she is, and I'm not going to change that.
I love that.
And was the romance changed over time when you met like your partner, like your husband, the romance?
Yeah, well, it's so funny. It's like I wrote We Had the Flame, and he is very Nasir coded. So it's like I manifested him. Because I also wrote that when I was younger, and I was writing all these characteristics that I really liked and that I wanted, and then Zafira was getting that. And so in my mind, like once I met him, he was just very Nasir.
He's sticking all the books.
But both of the books, both of them were written before I met him. I was in the middle of edits for Tempest when I met him, so Blade of Honey will be my first since.
Like that has some of the time capsule.
I'm discovering that as I'm writing the two characters and like delving into their past and what affects them and all that. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of me that's going into them. Which I guess when you're writing one book, you're like, okay, I've written all of myself into this. But as you keep going and as we keep growing, we're like changing and discovering new aspects of ourselves too, so that's happening with Blade of Honey too.
Can't wait to see that growth.
So when you were saying that Arthi and Zafira came to you fully formed, so you, for like the characters come first and then the plot comes in for you?
The plot, definitely comes after the characters, and the world depends on the story. Like for A Tempest of Tea, I always wanted to write something dapper, so I knew that was the setting that was going to be in, and then Arthi came along. With We Had the Flame, Zafira was first, where I wanted to write a girl who was masquerading as a boy in a very misogynistic setting, and then like the world building comes in, and I feel like the plot comes after all of that. Which I know one will kind of inform the other and probably like kind of guide Arthi's path or Zafira's path, but it's definitely she comes first.
So excited to read Steeping of Blood,
Yeah.
which is coming out later this
September,
year.
yeah.
September, very soon. I'm very excited for it.
I need answers. July, I think.
Yes,
Very
very
exciting. Are you excited? Do you feel like readers are gonna come into your comments like screeching and like okay me like
I am fully expecting this reaching.
I'm not. Look at you. Look at that smile. Oh my goodness.
He had a lot to do with the ending because he had like some
so I'm gonna
ideas
go to
for
your
it.
comments.
We know who to blame.
If we don't like this, I'm just gonna like.
But yeah, it was a difficult book to write. Because we were nearing the deadline and we kept pushing it back, but because like there was so much that happened at the Tempest of Tea that I was kind of pulled away from the writing process a lot because I'm introverted and I'm out here doing a lot for the book. And it just, I feel like it took so much out of me and it took a lot to get the story down to the point where I just wasn't happy with it. But as I got to the end of the process and like those final rounds of edit, the story really came together. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so we'll see.
Like you're proud. Are you proud? I hope you're proud.
It takes me a bit to get proud.
Aw.
I feel like it has to be out there and find readers and all of that, and then I'm like, okay, it's standing on its legs basically.
Okay.
Like I feel like once I'm done and the book is about to go out, it's basically a crawling baby, and then it's just
Okay.
gonna take its first steps and find its people.
Well, the moment we read it, we will make sure we scream mediums like you be proud. Because even writing a highly anticipated sequel to something that was such a hit, I imagine that's daunting.
Yeah.
And you still did it, and we're still excited, and we'll still be readers. So.
Yeah. And knowing that you are good at doing sequels, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. With We Free the Stars, I was definitely like so reluctant to leave the characters behind. That's why it became such a beast. It's so,
It's so
like I
big.
started writing the ending, and then 5 chapters later, I'm still writing the ending because I just did not want to leave them. With Steeping, it was almost like they wanted their rest. They just wanted me to be done with them so that they can chill because I was just putting them through the ringer so much.
Oh my god. Like, leave us alone. Okay.
So yeah, it was just a different experience altogether. It is a little longer than a Tempest of Tea, I think, but
I felt the arc a little bit.
yeah. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Exciting?
Oh yeah, it was like when I was like, I have to
tell me
I have to,
as soon as you read.
I was like, what is happening? The only reason I probably didn't read it like last night or anything like that was because it was such a long day. It should come in today, but but it did feel heavy.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, it is bigger. Yeah.
yeah. So it's exciting.
Lots to wrap up.
Yes, you left us hanging. You left us on a
Very
really
much.
cool ending. That was beautiful. Thank you for answering all the questions.
Yes,
Your
thank you so
question.
much.
Wasn't sure.
Thank you so much for having us. This is great.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for your energy. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I feel so bad when authors are like, we're introverts. Like, I know it's a lot to
Well, I
interact
really
with,
enjoy like
thousands.
meeting readers and stepping outside.
Yeah.